Yeah, so today we'll start muscles. We have completed the skeletal, part. So, is there any doubt from the skeleton? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
No doubts? Okay. So let's start this part. Now, as we have seen that skeleton, the bones, they support the whole body weight also, and uh, they give the shape and the structure to the body because we have proper bony skeleton, right? Now, how these bones are connected in a way, like joints are there, no doubt, but they are all covered and working together along with muscles. Okay, so basically, we are moving with the help of muscles, not directly by the help of bones. Bones are there to give the stiffness and to give the strength, okay, to give the shape, etc. But how we are moving? We are moving by the help of muscles. Okay, so let's see how are these muscles, what things are there. Okay, so see the muscles here given, they provide what? They provide the means of all movements. Okay, they cover the skeletal framework and they also give the shape to the body. Okay, that's why we feel, right, someone is so skinny and someone is so fat, right? So that is because of the muscles. Okay, and some part of muscles, it's not like if you have very less muscles, it's very difficult for you to you know uh, work with that body, although you will be surviving, but to work with that body efficiently will be very difficult. Okay, because the movements and all are supported by the muscles. Okay, and also of the shape of the body is also due to the muscles which are which covers the skeletal framework. Okay, and they also maintain the body posture. Okay, like when you're sitting, standing, walking, whatever, so your postures are maintained not by bones. Bones retain the weight and give the strength, but the postures are more supported by muscles. Okay, so what are these muscles? Okay, so muscles are contractile tissues. Okay, they are contractile tissues. So they have usually two ends. One is the fixed end and another is the movable end. Okay, so for example, here you can see, right, bone is there and then there is a fixed end and there is a movable end. Okay, so movable end, what it does, it pulls apart, like when you are, you can see in your own legs when you do some exercises, muscles can pull each other, right, pull the parts and then release, relax also. Okay, so that's why these type of tissues are known as contractile tissues. Okay, and the movable end is drawn out to form a tough structure which is known as tendon. Okay, the movable end is drawn out to form a tough structure which is known as tendon, which is attached to the bone. Okay, so when stimulated by a nerve, the muscle contracts to become shorter and thicker, and thus it pulls the bone at the movable end. Okay, so what does it mean? Basically, how the muscles are working. Muscles, they have one fixed end, one movable end. The movable end finally ends as a tendon. Okay, sorry, I told that time it starts, it ends at when it is going towards the bones. Okay, it forms a tough structure which is known as tendon. Okay, and then by pulling, for example, अगर वो contract कर रहा है तो क्या होगा, tendon will be like pulled and that will lead to the pulling of the bone. Okay, so this way they contract and relax. And what gives them message to contract or relax? that is the nervous system. Okay, your nervous system will give the command whether to contract or relax. Okay, and those commands are given by means of certain chemicals also. Okay, so here that's why it is written, when stimulated by a nerve, right? When stimulated by a nerve, okay, then muscles either contract or relax, and they lead to the movement of the bones also. Okay, so muscles, they cannot lengthen, they cannot lengthen, they can only contract and they can relax. Okay, understood this point, everyone?
Yes, miss.
Miss, I have a doubt.
Yes, Rajit.
Miss, is the neurotransmitter responsible for giving the command to the muscles to contract or relax?
Actually, there are some, you can say neurotransmitters only, but they say when I will teach you the nerve system, between the two neurons, there are different types of neurotransmitters. And there are few chemical, chemicals like basically calcium ions. Okay, these calcium ions act as a neurotransport, neurotransmitters kind of. Okay, so here also when we'll study in class 11th details of how muscles are working, how locomotion is happening. Okay, so I think in the mechanism, I think आपकी book में भी दिया होगा. So there we will see what things are happening. Okay, I'm not sure whether it is given here. No, it's not given here, but uh, we will study in higher classes that how these muscles are working. Like now we have not seen the muscles in details, right? What are the components of the muscles? There are some particular kind of cells जिसको हम कहते हैं actin and myosin fibers. Okay, those fibers are their component of the muscles. Okay, and that to a particular type of muscles. Okay, we will see there are three types of muscles. Okay, and then among those they vary. Okay, and then there are particular type of fibers which actually help in stretching and relaxing, not like contracting and relaxing. So there, when you go in details, you'll see like neurotransmitters, especially calcium ion and few other chemicals are responsible. Okay,
Yes, Miss.
so here we'll come to different types of muscles. Okay, let's see what is antagonistic muscle. Antagonistic muscle is a structure which has been moved by a muscle, cannot return to its original position without the action of another muscle. Okay, that means these are the muscles which can relax at a time, but it cannot again matlab, contract. It can just move to one particular thing, like it can be moved by one part to another, but relaxing or the returning part is done by another with the help of another muscle. Okay, so such muscles are called as antagonistic muscles. Okay, so like they are doing opposite actions. One is say moving outwards and another is pulling it backwards. Okay, so such muscles are known as antagonistic muscles and they cause opposing movements. Okay, they cause opposing movements. For example, here you can remember the example of biceps. The muscle is called flexor muscle here. Okay, biceps is flexor muscle of the upper arms. Okay, so it bends the lower arm over the upper arm, straightening action, extension part of the lower arm is brought about by the triceps. ओके, सो अब ये नाम बहुत सुना हुआ है आप लोगों ने, राइट? बाइसेप्स, ट्राइसेप्स, मतलब आजकल जिम के वर्ल्ड में एंड यू हैव टू so body conscious, so we have heard these terms so very commonly, but if you see from the biology point, okay, these are called Biceps, they have flexor muscles, and triceps, they have extensor muscles. Okay, so they have just opposite role. Okay, so one of the muscle, you know, will help the uh, upper arm, flexing of the upper arm means bending the lower arm over the upper arm. Okay, so straightening of the lower arm is brought about by the triceps. और इसका flexing वाला part जो था वो किससे, what was doing that? Bicep muscle, flexor muscle and extensor muscle. There are two type of muscle. Just wait, I can show you this particular thing that will help you in understanding. See here. Can you see this diagram?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So it is like when you do this way, what will happen? This bicep is upper part, this contracts and this gets relaxed. And when you release, then this contracts and this gets relaxed. Are you understanding this part? So ये जो biceps वाले part है, biceps को हम flexor muscle बोलते हैं, और जो triceps होते हैं इनको हम extensor muscles बोलते हैं.
Miss, so can we say that a movement by the antagonistic muscles is completed by two muscles?
Yeah. There are
Okay,
always
miss.
two muscles. The antagonistic muscle is usually always in pairs. Okay? One type of muscle is doing one type of work and another is doing the opposite of it. Which both things are required for a particular function. Like आपको आर्म को ऊपर उठाना है और नीचे करना है, तो ये नॉर्मल फंक्शन है, लेकिन ये इस फंक्शन में हमको कौन सी मसल्स लग रही है? दोनों मसल्स का यूज आ रहा है. Like if triceps doesn't get relaxed and biceps doesn't get contract, तो हम ये नहीं कर पाएंगे, right? And similarly opposite of it is required for just putting your hands down, means like as you do ना, dumbbells आप उठाते हो और नीचे करते हो, so that time this particular action takes place and this kind of muscles are known as antagonistic muscles.
Okay, miss.
Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, and that is the reason we call these muscles as antagonistic muscles. They are opposite. Antagonist term means opposite. Okay. Now let's see the kind of muscles which are there in our body. Okay. So there are about 400 muscles in our body, making up nearly 1/2 of the body weight. And these muscles, they are basically into two categories bola hai, but actually there are three. Okay. First is voluntary muscles. Second is involuntary muscles. Then third is cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles जो होते हैं ये हर जगह नहीं होते. They are only the muscles in the heart. Okay, these are the muscles. Cardiac muscles, they make up the wall of the heart. So they are very special. Because when we have studied heart में क्या होता है? Heart की जो pumping होती है, that is not directly regulated by our nervous system, right? So these muscles, they have their own type, means they do not relax anytime. They have to be constantly working without fail. So they have a special kind of feature which is kind of mixture of both the things, voluntary as well as involuntary. When we'll study their detailed structure in class 12th, okay, then you will see. So voluntary muscles, from the term itself, it's very clear that voluntary means which is acting as per our order, means we can control their movements. Okay, so they are voluntary muscles which are under control of our will. And involuntary means which are not controlled by our will. Okay, for example, the stomach wall में जो हमारे muscles हैं, okay, then windpipe के पास जो हमारे muscles हैं, right? Similarly, the sphincter muscles, I told you, right? Sphincter muscles, which are helping the movement of, like say food coming
Food.
from stomach to intestine. So all those muscles will be what? They will be involuntary muscles, right? And what will be voluntary muscles? Can you give me example of voluntary muscles?
Miss, the biceps and triceps.
Yeah, they can be voluntary muscles.
Miss the
Yes.
muscles near our knees. Or
Yeah.
Miss cardiac muscles.
No, they are not voluntary muscles. Okay, cardiac muscles are not voluntary muscles. How it can be voluntary? Can you stop your heart for 1 minute? Can you?
Miss quadriceps and cuffs.
Yeah, quadriceps can be there. Okay, see, there are few muscles which have combination of both types. Like, for example, if you ask for breathing, lungs and all, so you can actually stop your breathing for some time, but after a time you cannot stop. It's out of your will. So those things also will study in higher classes. In general, you remember the three types, that is voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles and cardiac muscles. Okay, voluntary muscles means which are working under control of our will. Involuntary means which are not under our will. Okay, not under our control. And cardiac means they are the muscles of heart. Okay, they make up the wall of heart. Okay, so these three are there. Okay, involuntary muscle में आपकी book में जो examples दिए हैं, you can see all your respective books if you there are any differences. Okay, the examples which are given in your books, please remember those examples while writing the exam papers. Okay, so eyelids and diaphragm are both voluntary as well as involuntary. I was telling them there are few muscles which are both voluntary as well as involuntary. So eyelids, diaphragm I told you, you can stop for a while, means you can control your breathing, and if you do meditation it can increase, okay, the time, but after a time it won't remain voluntary, after a particular time it becomes involuntary. So they act both as voluntary as well as involuntary. Okay, same with eyelids. हम लोग गेम्स खेलते थे कि चलो लेट्स सी कि आप अपने आईलिड्स को कितनी देर तक यूज नहीं करते हो, यू शुड नॉट क्या बोलते हैं, blink your eyes. So but that's a game because we cannot remain it, keep it open for a long. It causes pain and burning in the eyes. Okay, so these muscles are both voluntary and involuntary. Okay, so how the muscles coordinate? So most action in our body, like standing, walking, running, playing, they all require combined action of several muscles. To a great extent, the muscles have to be coordinated for a particular kind of movement. जैसे मैंने आपको अभी बताया biceps and triceps का example, see here given. ठीक है, आपके बुक में ही ये सेम चीज दी हुई है. So ये जो biceps है, when we do this, so biceps has to be contracted, triceps has to be relaxed, and opposite is required when you're just loosening your hands, just straightening your hands. Okay, now there's a liver mechanism. Okay, what is this liver mechanism? Again, so ये जो same action है, this takes place when you hold something and take it towards the mouth. Okay, so I told you, right, relaxation and contraction part. So now when you're explaining this, okay, action, you will understand what the muscles are going through when it is like when you're taking a glass of water towards your mouth and when you're keeping it again back on the table. Okay, so movements of different parts of the body are usually made easier due to lever actions in the skeleton. The lever of the first order, where the power and the weight act with the fulcrum in between, is represented by the extension of the arm at the elbow by the extension of the triceps and resulting resting of skull on first and second neck vertebrae. Okay, so this is another thing. ये ह्यूमन स्केलेटन का ये एल्बो जॉइंट को दिखाया आपको. So first order. So what is fulcrum? This joint is acting as fulcrum. Okay, and then see, this is how it is working. It's a third order. Okay, so the liver of the second order, where the fulcrum is at one end of the liver and power at the other end with the weight, is between represented by the gastrocnemius muscles. Okay, raising weight of the body on the toes. Okay, these are like for your different parts. Okay, like ये जो है, ये किस चीज का दिखाया आपके एल्बो का. आर्म एक्सटेंड कर रहा है और वापस आ रहा है. व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज इन योर टोज, हील्स. ठीक है, आप जब उसको मूव करते हो तो व्हाट हैपेंस. ठीक है, व्हाट इज देयर इन सी? सी इज योर arm flexion of the arms. Okay, so these are three things which are shown with the help of where's the weight and where's the fulcrum and what kind of work is being done. Okay, so see, यहाँ पे fulcrum कहाँ पे, ये सेम है. यहाँ पे fulcrum कहाँ पे, इधर है. ठीक है, मतलब ये एक्सटेंशन ऑफ आर्म हो रहा है, एल्बो एक्सटेंशन हो रहा है, और यहाँ पे एल्बो फ्लेक्शन हो रहा है. यहाँ पे जो मैंने बताया था, राइट, दिस इज एक्सटेंशन एंड दिस इज फ्लेक्शन. राइट, इसका मतलब आप देख रहे हो, जब ये एक्सटेंड हो रहा है तो ऊपर से यहाँ वाला जो जॉइंट है वो वर्क कर रहा है. ठीक है, और जब ये ऐसे हाथ मोड़ते हैं तो यहाँ का जॉइंट वर्क करता है. ठीक है, इसी को यहाँ पे दिखाया है. सेम थिंग दे हैव शोन here first में and then third में. ठीक है, so you can see, right, यहाँ पे fulcrum का पोजीशन चेंज हो जाता है. जैसे यहाँ से ये लोड को उठा रहा है, right, here fulcrum is here. ठीक है, एंड इस केस में fulcrum डाउन, नीचे की तरफ वाले बोन में, एल्बो जॉइंट के नीचे चला जाता है. ठीक है, इज दिस क्लियर? आप लोग को समझ में आया ये पॉइंट?
Yes, miss.
सबको आया, सारे बच्चे लोगों को?
Miss, can you explain the fulcrum part once again?
See, what it is written here. If you read it, you'll understand. Movement of different parts of the body are usually made easier due to liver actions. लिवर में क्या होता है, जब हम बॉडी LIVR नहीं, ये लिवर मतलब हम जब वेट पुट करते हैं तो वहां पे क्या होता है, एक जहां से पावर अप्लाई किया जाता है, एक जहां पे वेट होता है, और उसके बीच में एक फल्क्रम होता है जिसकी मदद से हम उस वेट को अपलिफ्ट करते हैं. राइट, दैट इज नॉर्मली अ लिवर एक्शन. राइट, so what happens here? So every body part, like for example आपको आर्म्स और टोज का बताया गया है. जैसे हम सिर्फ आर्म का अगर देखते हैं तो इसमें बताया है कि डिफरेंट ऑर्डर उनको मेंशन किया है कि जो फल्क्रम है वो कहाँ कहाँ यूज हो रहा है इन अ पर्टिकुलर टाइप ऑफ एक्शन. ओके, जैसे कि आपके आर्म्स का मैंने बताया था, राइट, कि दिस इज वन पार्ट एंड दिस इज अनदर पार्ट. राइट, दिस इज अनदर. ये आप क्या कर रहे हो, ये आप आर्म्स को ऊपर की तरफ ले रहे हो. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे कौन सी मसल्स काम कर रही हैं? फ्लेक्सर मसल्स. राइट, जिसको यहाँ पे याद रखो, जो आपको ये पता नहीं, बाइसेप्स है और ये ट्राइसेप्स है, कितना याद रहेगा? राइट, सो बाइसेप्स को यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है आपकी बुक में, भूलने का जरूरत नहीं है. बाइसेप्स को फ्लेक्सर मसल्स. ठीक है, ट्राइसेप्स जो है वो एक्सटेंसर मसल्स है. राइट, रिमेम्बर इट. ठीक है, सो फ्लेक्सर मसल्स जो है और एक्सटेंसर मसल्स जो है उनको ही हम अलग अलग तरीके से बात कर रहे हैं. इफ यू सी हियर, यहाँ पे जो लिखा है एल्बो का फर्स्ट इज एक्सटेंशन ऑफ आर्म. ठीक है, एंड लास्ट इज फ्लेक्शन ऑफ आर्म. तो मतलब एक्सटेंशन का मतलब होता है जब आपकी ये मसल काम कर रही है, ये मसल ट्राइसेप्स जो है वो एक्सटेंसर मसल है, ये जब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रही है तो हाथ क्या हो रहा है, सीधा कर रहे हैं हम, राइट, वापस रख रहे हैं। और जब हम इसको मोड़ते हैं, लाइक हैंड्स को जब हम मोड़ते हैं तो क्या होती है, जो फ्लेक्सर मसल्स है मतलब बाइसेप्स, वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करती है, राइट। तो हम इसको फ्लेक्सिंग मूवमेंट बोल रहे हैं, इसको एक्सटेंशन मूवमेंट बोल रहे हैं, राइट। सो ये दोनों में ही अलग अलग जगह फल्क्रम यूज होता है। वेट कहाँ है हमारा, यहाँ है, ठीक है। पावर हमारा कहाँ से हो रहा है, इधर से लग रहा है कहीं से, मतलब यू नो लाइक नाउ दे आर शोइंग हियर बोन्स, बोन्स में कौन सी चीज कहाँ है। तो व्हेन यू आर जस्ट कीपिंग द थिंग्स डाउन, तब क्या हो रहा है, वेट इज हियर, लाइक मे बी मतलब आपकी जो आर्म बोन्स है, जो आपकी क्या अल्ना रेडियस जो है, ठीक है, वो उसको वेट ले रहे हैं, राइट। एंड पावर इज अप्लाइड वेयर, पावर इज अप्लाइड बाय द ट्राइसेप्स मसल्स, राइट। ट्राइसेप्स मसल्स जब ये हो रहा है तो ट्राइसेप्स मसल क्या कर रही है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रही है, तो ये पावर का काम कर रही है, विच विल बी द पॉइंट हियर, पावर, ठीक है। मसल एंड कहाँ कर रही है, इस जगह पे, तो यहाँ पे पावर लग रहा है, राइट। तो इसका फलक्रम कहाँ पे है, इस जॉइंट पे है। when we are मतलब straightening your hands, मतलब सीधा करके वापस रख रहे हैं ग्लास फॉर एग्जांपल, राइट। एंड यू सी दिस थिंग, इसमें क्या हो रहा है, इसमें आप हाथ को ऐसे मोड़ रहे हो क्योंकि आप पानी पी रहे हो, फ्लेक्सिंग मतलब फ्लेक्सर मसल, मतलब आपकी जो बाइसेप्स हैं वो काम कर रहे हैं, राइट। व्हेन बाइसेप्स आर वर्किंग, तो क्या हो रहा है, आपका पावर किधर है, एंड ऑफ दीज मसल्स, यहाँ पे, ठीक है। सो आपके बाइसेप्स फ्लेक्सर मसल का एंड जहाँ पे, वहां पे पावर है, वेट सेम पोजीशन, मतलब आगे रेडियस अल्ना के आसपास कहीं होगा, ठीक है। और फलक्रम का काम क्या करेगा, बोन का ये जॉइंट हियर बैक साइड, ठीक है। सो दिस विल एक्ट एज अ फलक्रम। आर यू गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so they have given this first order, second order and third order by where the weight is being applied, where is the power and where is the fulcrum. Okay, similarly foot के केस में आपका वेट जो होता है वो यहाँ पे होता है, बिकॉज आप स्टैंड कर रहे हो, राइट, चलते वक्त वेट यहाँ पे होता है। और पावर कहाँ होगा, आपकी जो ये मसल्स होती है, जो आपकी काफ मसल्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना, पीछे साइड में जो दो मसल्स थी, ठीक है, वो उनको बोलते हैं गैस्ट्रोनियस मसल्स। ओके, सो ये मसल्स का जो एंड है वहां पे पावर अप्लाई हो रहा है। एंड फल्क्रम का काम क्या करता है, टिप ऑफ आवर टोज, दैट एक्ट एज फल्क्रम, helping the things to be done easily. Are you understanding?
Yes, miss, understood.
सबको क्लियर है ना बच्चों, किसी को डाउट है इसमें? Okay, so let's go ahead. I think we have done the chapter. Okay, there's a do you know part. Someone can read this part. Nice, interesting facts are there. Who wants to read? Ayush?
Miss, your voice is cracking.
Am I audible
Yes,
now?
miss, your voice is cracked.
Oh, yeah, internet
Yes,
connection.
ma'am.
Stable. Now is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ayush. Can you read this do you know part?
The longest bone in our body is the thigh bone, which is femur. The smallest bones in our body are three tiny bones, malleus, incus, and stapes in the ear, joined to the inner side of the eardrum in the form of a chain. And the nails and the teeth, though hard, are not bones. Most muscles are attached to bones, but some are not. For example, the muscles which move our eyelids or the muscles that push the food along the food canal are not attached to bones. Some muscles in our body are vestigial, which means non-functional, such as muscles of the projecting ears. Other mammals, like the cow or the horse, can move their ears. Some persons also, with some effort, can learn to move their.
Hello. Hello, am I audible to others?
Yes, miss.
I think Ayush got disconnected. Ayush, can you hear?
Yes, miss. Now I can hear you.
Okay, okay. In between, I felt as if the connection got disconnected. Okay, so very nice points were there. So longest bone is femur bone, thigh bone, right? Smallest bone is MIS, miss, right? In our ears, right? The three bones, very tiny bones. Okay. And nails and teeth, they are not bones. Who will tell what are nails? If they are not bones, what
Miss,
are nails?
deposition of keratin.
Very good, Swapnavit. And what are teeth? Anyone else? Srijita? Hello, am I audible, Bacho? Srijita?
Yes, miss.
Yeah,
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
know the answer?
Miss, I have to think.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to answer?
Miss, can I?
Yes, Ashmita.
Miss, bones are the deposition of minerals, mostly calcium compounds, calcium carbonate.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Is the calcium not there in bones?
Yes, miss, but the teeth has a structure which is stronger than bones, which is enamel.
Yeah, good. So teeth, they have enamel. They also contain nerves. Okay. So that is a structure little different from the bones. So they're not considered under bones. Okay. Teeth, they do not have regenerative powers. Okay.
Miss, we can only say that teeth is enamel. Its first layer is enamel, or we have to say something else.
So you have to tell if they are not bones, why they are not bones, right? If you have to segregate something, now you have to show a particular character that is not matching, and that's why they are not considered as bone. So one of those character can be first thing, teeth, they do not have regenerative powers, and the bones, they do. Okay, they can grow, right? बोन्स में सेल्स कैन ग्रो, टीथ कैसा नहीं होता है, राइट? टीथ वंस दे आर फॉर्म, दे वोंट यू नो कीप ग्रोइंग. ठीक है. So and then second thing is their structure is different. They contain some nerves, they have blood vessels, they have some specialized cell, they have enamel which is not there in bones. Okay. And they are harder than the bones. They are the most hardest substance of our body. Okay. एंड बोन्स में कुछ सेल्स होती हैं, हमको याद है, आपने को बताया था मैंने, बोन्स का आउटर कवरिंग इज पेरिस्टोमियम. ओके. एंड दे हैव अ पर्टिकुलर काइंड ऑफ सेल्स, right? Peristomum layer that is not present in our teeth. So that's why their teeth are not considered as bones. Okay. Is it clear?
Miss, the teeth are non-living because they are just deposition, but the bones are living. They have osteocytes.
That also you can say. However, bones also, like teeth are also like that. Means teeth can be replaced. Okay. And if you see bones, bones also can be replaced. Okay. But the thing is, yes, teeth may be, there are nervous part. You can, if you're, there's a layer outer layer in the teeth. वो जब बहुत ज़्यादा remove हो जाती है ना, then your teeth will look like yellowish, not because of the dirt, but little this, because then it becomes very very sensitive. आप cold या hot कुछ लोगे, that will be very sensitive. You won't be able to take it. Okay, so
Ma'am,
there are
our nails are living, na?
nails are also not living. Okay, nail tissues are not living.
Miss,
Yes.
Miss, but the teeth can be replaced only once in a lifetime. But bones can be bones can mend itself when it fractures, although
Yeah,
it
yeah,
takes
that's why I
time, but
told
it
that.
can.
That's the difference. I told bones, they have regenerative parts, they can grow, but teeth they cannot. They
Yes.
once formed, तो क्या होता है जो आपके दूध के दांत बोलते हैं, मिल्क टीथ, वो एक बार टूट गया तो once again you will get the mature teeth, adult teeth, right? And once they are gone, they will not be grown again. That's one of the major difference. Regenerative powers नहीं होते हैं, ठीक है, teeth के पास.
Miss, if nails are not living things, so miss, when a person dies, so how does the nails in that person grow?
Nails of a dead person, I think, will not grow. Who told you this particular information, by the way?
Miss, I heard somewhere, I'm not sure.
Actually, growth of the body will stop as you die. Okay, and just after the death, there are few parts will keep working for some time, and few parts are like they will stop after some time. Like the difference of time will be there for every particular organ. Like heart will stop, you know, on the spot, but there will be muscular contractions, there will be many such activities which keeps going for some time, and then also stop. ओके, इन शॉर्ट कहने का मतलब है जो चीजें लाइक बॉडी पे जो एनर्जी है उससे चल रहा है. Okay, so some tissues they store energy materials little bit, so they continue using it, but the formation of those energy part is gone. So little bit कुछ समय तक वो कर पाते हैं, और इसके बेसिस पे आपकी बहुत सारे मतलब डेथ के बाद जो पोस्टमार्टम होता है, बहुत कुछ होता है उसमें, इन सारी चीजों का बहुत वैल्यू होता है. ये स्टडीज को बहुत ध्यान दिया जाता है कि मरने के बाद किसका क्या चीज एक्टिव होना चाहिए, कितनी देर तक एक्टिव होना चाहिए. बेस्ड ऑन दैट डॉक्टर्स, फॉरेंसिक डॉक्टर्स दे से कि डेथ कितने पहले हुआ होगा. So all those things, right? But this point I have to search beta, because I think nail should not grow after
Miss, the
death.
bodies shrink, but the nails do not grow. Miss, mostly this article I too have also read, but it was regarding mummies.
What was the heading, tell me?
Miss, I don't remember the heading, but I remember that it was something related to mummies, like
See,
Egyptian mummies.
body will may shrink, that depends on factor to factor. Okay, and mummification is different thing. That is when you put all the spices and all to keep the body thing. So what happens when you keep, have you seen जब अचार में आप बहुत सारा मसाला डालते हो तो क्या होता है उन टिश्यूज के साथ? आम कभी देखा है अचार बनाते हुए किसी को घर में?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
we
miss.
put spices and salt and keep it aside, तो उसमें से बहुत सारा water will come out, osmosis factor, right? And it becomes little shrink. उसको धूप में भी रखते हैं, थोड़ा सा और shrink कर जाता है, थोड़ा सूखा सूखा हो जाता है, and then we keep it, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा preserve रह सकता है, क्योंकि उसकी life activities जो है वो बहुत reduced हो जाती है, right? Similarly mummification में भी if you put lots of things to keep the body things, तो बहुत सारी shrinkage होगी, and that shrinkage will be in most of the living parts, tissues of the body. Nails will not shrink, so it may appear longer.
Yes, it will appear longer, but the
they may
body
appear
can
long.
shrink.
Body will shrink in that case, but not normally. It should be in mummification, it may shrink.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, next few points were also good. So these are some extra points. I think ये आपके question exams में उतना नहीं आएगा. Vestigial organs means they were present previously in our ancestors, but now they are non-functional, right? So there are progress check and points to remember. Points to remember also we can read. Someone can read? Who wants to read? Hadi, can you read? Hello, Hadi.
Yes, miss. Miss,
Please
can you
read
please
this.
repeat? Miss, points to remember.
Yes.
Skeleton performs four primary functions: support, protection, movement, and leverage. Bones are storehouse of calcium and phosphorus, and the hollow long bone produce blood cells. The human skeleton consists of axial bone, backbone, and ribs, and appendicular skeleton, bones of limbs and grindles. The joints
Girdles.
between yes, miss.
These are girdles. पढ़ाया था
Okay.
मैंने आपको?
The joints between two bones may be immovable, partially movable, and freely movable. Movable joints are of four kinds: gliding joints, hinge joint, pivot joint, and ball and socket joint. Most movable joints have lubricating synovial fluid between the two bones. At what's that?
Antagonistic.
Antagonistic muscles bring about opposite movement of the part concerned. Human skeleton provide examples of all three order of liver.
Okay. Acha. These are the second point which Hadi read, and the hollow long bones produce blood cells. Can anyone tell what we call them usually? The hollow long bones, the cells there, which produce blood cells.
Bone marrow.
Very good, Ashmita. They are known as bone marrow. Okay, so these were just a short revision of the whole chapter, point wise. Okay, so here we end with this chapter. Okay.